Welcome, guys, to the MMOs.com podcast. This is episode 86, and this is Altay, joined this week by...
Omer. All right, that's just me, I guess.
Oh, Gumball, my mic was muted. Sorry, guys.
Oh, God.
I was last, so I'm not to blame. All right.
Matt.
Shrelia and Shrelia.
We've been on a good roll for a while.
It's not too late to restart, boys. Let's go. Let's keep going.
I think it has character.
It does.
I like it.
All right, I mean...
That was on the script, right? I was supposed to mute my mic and then mess it up for everyone.
Of course. These are always scripted. I mean, everything is scripted over here, right? And yeah.
I saw the green circle around Gumby, and I'm like, oh god, what went wrong?
Redo, restart. No, I'm kidding. All right, and with that, let's throw it right to the weekly raid before we get too distracted with this.
Okay. This week is, I think it's going to be a little bit of a fun topic here. We're talking about betas. When does a game have one beta too many? And this really comes from Revelation Online's announcement of their third closed beta. Hopefully 3 is the lucky number, but there were rumors a while ago that there would be 5, which is just kind of ridiculous. And I wonder, have we gone too far? Have these developers and publishers, have they gone too far with all these closed betas? I remember when Warhammer Online had their beta, there was only one, and it was for testing features, and after that, it was one and done. Now we have closed beta, pre-alpha, alpha, but really I'm talking about when is it enough testing? And are these closed betas even closed betas, or are they just ways to generate hype, to keep laying down tracks for the train to keep going? So go ahead, take the round table here. Whoever wants to take it away first.
All right, so too many closed betas is when you get to the point that Albion Online is at right now.
What are they at? What's their count?
I don't know, but it's gone on for too long. I'm just going to count every month as a different closed beta. They've had 12, all right?
Oh my god.
Wow.
Holy crap, dude.
Matt,
By the way, I don't just mean closed betas. I mean betas,
Alphas,
not alpha either. Just, well, maybe we can throw this in, but I really mean betas, because beta as a public term, it designates something where almost the game is almost feature complete, and it's just kind of working out the kinks. And I mean, the word is not really used properly, but...
And as far as Revelation goes, I'm not sure yet. Well, we know that the first closed beta was definitely there to test things because it wasn't even in English. The second closed beta was not entirely in English, so they're still working on it. It might just be that all they're doing is that they're trying to keep people interested while they work on it, and now they're adding 20 more levels of content with the new closed beta. So, I mean, maybe it is just a hype thing, but it's not like a hype thing like, oh, it's done already, and they're trying to generate hype and keep leading people on forever, because the best thing to do would just be to launch it at that point, because, I mean, I doubt a lot of these people are still buying Founders Packs by the third closed beta, but they're actually adding content to this one, and I guess that what they're doing is they're just keeping people interested while they work on actually making the game work and actually have it in English.
But I mean, again, at some point, isn't we have a term closed beta is not to add new content. It's to just a final checkup, basically. I remember games I was in the original some closed betas way back when, and they were basically just to make sure the server's working, maybe the translations are all there. It's not to add content. That seems like a development cycle phase, not the testing phase.
Well, I mean, this is their localization development phase. I think the thing is, though, they're trying to keep people interested during it, rather than make them wait ages without word of what they're doing, kind of like Bless and Soulworker are doing right now.
What was the count for Revelation? I know they did close beta too, and how many beta rounds did they say they would do?
5.
Okay, 5 rounds of beta testing.
Okay, I just want to point out, I was looking for that. I can't find where they said that, and if they did say it, seems like they've kept it quiet. And may be true. I mean, closed beta 3 is kind of pointing that way. But
so wait, when they're calling them different betas, are they actually shutting it down? So it's like they have the beta period and then they shut it down.
Yeah.
They shut it down from month at a time sometimes.
God damn it.
Yes, I have a game. Go ahead.
Oh no, go ahead.
I have a game that's, I think, abuses this more so than Revelation, and dare I say, even Albion Online. All right. And this is, look at this. This is their email I got a while ago for SkySaga. It's the game's alpha number 9. They've had 9 rounds of alpha testing, and it's not even one of those close real alphas where you need a key to get in. Everyone got in, right? If you want to play the game, you get in. and they're on Alpha 9. They're not even on closed beta yet. All right, at this point, it's insane.
SkySaga, though, I think it's a version number. Alpha version 9 is what I think what they mean by that.
No, you can't interchange developer terms with come on.
Because it doesn't shut down either. It's just whenever they put out an update, they say Alpha 8, Alpha 9. It's a version number.
It's still not acceptable. I remember this being one of the first games we played like over a year ago, and it's not out yet.
No, Matt, before you start defending them, it very clearly says on the page, the SkySaga Infinite Isles alpha test is not yet available globally. They're calling it an alpha test. So it's not like they're on alpha number 9 and that's the version number. That's just wrong. They're calling these real alphas, all right? If you scroll to the bottom of the link in the chat, you can. It's just insane. They're on alpha number 9, and as you said, they're not even turning the games off in between them. Come on! At a certain point, just release the damn game. It's already
it's pretty playable. I don't know what they're waiting for, honestly.
Wasn't it published by Smilegate? Maybe they're still working on getting all the international versions lined up before they publish it.
I guess. I mean, they're waiting for something.
I don't know who's making this. I don't think it's maybe
published by Smilegate.
Oh, okay.
You know what's sad about this though is when they keep doing this extended beta or whatever. It's when you first hear about the game, you get really hyped about it. You see the game and you're like, wow, this is a really exciting game. And when they keep dragging on the alphas and the betas, you're just like, I don't care anymore. Yeah. I don't know about you guys, but that's how I feel about it. When you guys are like, oh, Albion Online, I was when I first saw Albion, I was like, oh, that's pretty interesting game, right? And now that they're in closed beta, whatever, I still don't want to play it because it's
not out yet, and
not out yet. I don't. Yeah, and it's I'm like, oh yeah, that game, it's been out forever. You know, it's
There is a marketing reason they do this. Clearly, I know Des pointed out in our chat. I mean, they're trying to keep hype going, and I do think if they juggle it correctly at the number of closed betas, alphas, it can generate a lot of buzz, and it can be a really good business decision. But when you drag it out too long, there's obviously, I think, a consequence. People lose interest in the game. I mean, I'm the kind of player who's just not going to play until it's fully out, or an open beta rather, right? Yeah. I might dabble in the closed beta just to see what it is, but I have no intention of getting max level in closed beta because I'm going to get wiped. And if the game just drags on, I'm gonna lose interest. Other stuff is grabbing my attention. At a certain point, it gets silly. I think 2 closed betas is the absolute max for me in terms of what I would do if I was running a game. Or my advice is 2 closed betas and you're done. Get the open beta. Boom, boom, boom.
If they're gonna run this many betas though, a way to do it is to just limit it. If you open the floodgates and just any sucker can get in, then it's kind of there's nothing special about it. But there's a sense of wonder and it's just a sense of accomplishment almost to get into these betas. Be you remember when that used to mean something to be I was a beta tester. It means it was a big deal.
It did, yeah. It was valuable because not everybody got in. Beta tests today, there's nothing valuable about most beta tests. Almost every mainstream MMO, there's been nothing special about beta tests. I mean, everybody gets in. The numbers are huge.
It's you just email them, right? It's hey, MMOs.com, give some keys. They're okay, here's 1,000 keys or whatever. It's ridiculous. If the betas were a lot more selective, it would keep the hype because it would feel like an exclusive club.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
And people would be shit, I want to get in this beta. I want to get in this beta. Let me make fucking 10 emails to get into this beta.
I love doing that back in the day.
I just want to point out that I think that SkySaga is also a bad example because I don't think they're ever going to wipe progress.
Oh, that's awful then. Why are they still calling it an alpha test then?
That's retarded.
I think it's just to manage expectations.
Our game is so bad, we got to make sure no one knows it's actually out yet.
By
the way, your news is old. On their forums a few days ago, they actually announced Alpha 10.
Wow! All right, Alpha 10's coming out too, boys.
So your Alpha 9 information is old news. You got to stay tuned on their YouTube page or their Twitter page for updates on Alpha 10 coming out. So there's that.
You know what's funny? Speaking about these exclusive betas, I distinctly remember when I was playing World of Warcraft. It was when WildStar was first coming out, right? And it was a beta testing phase. And I do think that game had a lot of hype when it launched, right? And I think they handled the beta aspect pretty well. You can say what you want about the actual game, but the press of building hype was real. People were looking for an alternative to WoW, and they probably still are today. But I was looking at people trying to buy and sell WildStar Access accounts. In fact, just take a look at this right now. I dropped in the podcast chat. Somebody was actually posted on a forum I want to buy WildStar beta access. I'm paying $250. I can go up to $300 if you're like a well-known guy, right? He was offering to pay $300 to get into the beta. But nowadays, any MMORPG you play, Revelation, no matter what's coming out, it's not going to have this kind of hype because, hey, the fact that like it was so exclusive meant people were interested, you know? It's almost like, I know we talked about, you know, Kickstarter games and stuff. Like when development actually launches, the hype kind of dies. They want us to tell the sizzle, not the steak. And they can do the sizzle when not everyone can play the game. The moment everyone can play the game, the sizzle is kind of gone. It's just all you left is the steak. And you better pray your steak is good, you know?
Dude, it's like you know, look, you can look but you can't touch, you know? That gets people.
Yes.
You know, that gets the saliva going, you know?
Do you guys remember when
or
betas,
other things, I guess, if you're...
Do you guys remember when betas actually had this prompt window in game for your feedback? Like they don't even bother pretending it's a real beta where like they're looking for feedback anymore because they know it's just like, you know, promotions and nonsense.
Like you can at least appreciate the fact that they're looking for player feedback, you know. And even if honestly, even if a game is not looking for player feedback, just put the goddamn prompt in there. It makes people feel like they're contributing, and like it seems like so many developers don't even care about player feedback anymore. You know, it's like that's probably the most important thing, and they should gather as much information as they can, even if they don't use it. Right? Find out where the pressure points are, what people like and they don't dislike, and at least get something useful out of it. But too bad they don't care anymore.
You know, the only thing I can think of is maybe they want a lot of people to stress test or something. But like, I feel like there's better ways to do that.
Mm-hmm.
Like than having just all these people online, like anyone non-exclusive.
I don't have a problem with that. It's just when it goes beyond stress testing. You know, like Blade and Soul was already out for a couple years before it came to the West, and they had a closed beta, right? But I can understand that because they're also trying to gauge interest, how much infrastructure they need, I guess, because it's hard to gauge how popular something's going to be until it releases, right? So I get that. But when it goes closed beta 1, closed beta 2, closed beta 3, at some point you cross a line. It's no longer about testing features. It's just about keeping it going. But closed betas do serve a purpose. There is a reason for them. They shouldn't. And I think the problem is they've been abused beyond that purpose. And what happens when you do that is it renders the term meaningless. And by the way, when I brought this question up, I don't mean like indie projects that need continued funding to survive. I really meant studios that are established, that have funding, they have a budget, and they can make the game like a Revelation. So, yeah, I don't know what's going to happen out of all this. I feel like the terms are going to be meaningless. It's just going to be called early access for everything.
All right, Gumby, I have a question for you on the roundtable related to Revelation's beta process. Revelation, the CEO of My.com calls Gumby, all right? He's got you on the phone right now, all right? Mm-hmm. And he's on his desk, feet on the table. Gumby, we need your advice. Should we do another round of closed beta? Should we just turn closed beta 3 into open beta, or should we do another round of closed beta testing? And they say they exactly what they have today. What do you tell them, Gumby?
I actually didn't play much of closed beta 2, so I'm not sure. So if I were to gauge it based off closed beta 1, though, I would say
closed beta 2. Look, because
I didn't play closed beta 2, so I don't know I don't know what the state of closed beta 2 was.
He tells you we got the translations like 90% done, assuming that's true.
No, you're on the spot here. I think they have to fix. They have to go back to alpha and fucking.
He hangs up. You didn't give me a yes or no answer. He hangs up. He calls Erhan. Erhan, do we get the game out?
Okay, is your game playable?
Yes.
Open beta.
Done. All right, Matt, your turn.
That's fair.
Based on what I heard about closed beta 2 not being fully translated, definitely another round of closed beta.
All right. Matt says no. Shu, knowing very little about the game, closed beta, another round of closed beta testing, or just go hella open beta? What do you think?
I mean,
it's a yes or no answer. Boom, boom, boom.
I'll pass.
All right. He hangs up on you too. All right. He calls me. I say I agree with my brother. I say it's playable at its current state. Everything can be fixed later on. You know, they're already selling. Like you can't like hide behind the closed beta mantle when you're selling these founders packs and all this stuff already. Like the game is out for all practical purposes. Just get it out in open beta and fix all the problems in a live environment where the pressure is even higher. You know, and the more people are playing the game, and it's only going to force you to do better anyway.
If you're giving away keys for your closed beta in a giveaway style, like indiscriminately, right, randomly,
yeah,
that means your game is open beta. Anything else beyond that is just you're just doing promotion and like marketing. Because a real closed beta or alpha is aimed at either professional testers or like the super hardcore like database of players from previous
and friends and family, that's
yeah, friends and family of the the team. So if you're giving away keys on random sites, including MMOs.com, stay tuned for more giveaways. Your game is an open beta. Whatever you want to call it, if you want to wipe it or not wipe it, or whatever you want to do, or charge for it or whatever, it's an open beta.
I think that's fair. And I think somebody brought up a good point. Betas these days seem to be just code for "we know our game sucks, mate, but please, don't hate us."
Pretty much. Early access. It's like it's just an early access for like forever, just to be like, well, you can't really hate on us because it's early access. You've not been in that state forever.
One last thing I want to touch on. On Wacko in our chat, he pointed out that Overwatch also had a pretty exclusive beta period where friends and families were allowed, but the public beta was super, super limited to the point where beta accounts for Overwatch would sell for $1,200.
Wow.
We had a friend that leased his account on a daily basis for like $30. You want to play Overwatch beta? Pay me $30 a day. Like it became so valuable. But that drives hype. People are like, holy shit, that game is awesome. I want to play. But when you can't play a game that you want to play and you're interested in it, that is like the peak of hype, But when you can play it, there goes the hype. And games need to have that at launch.
It's not about hype. No. I think that the Overwatch Blizzard was actually being professional. So they actually restricted to people who could be helpful to them during their testing. And then, some of those people decided to, profit or sell on the side. But the hype was not the reason that Blizzard did that. It was actually to be a professional game developer.
Yeah, but even unintentionally, it just built up more hype.
Yeah, it could be a consequence, and obviously, a good game, builds hype. Just being a good game.
Yeah, that's
because it's like I just can't get excited for any games now because it's like early access for like a year before it comes out.
Well, a year is being very, a year it would be nice. I would take a year. It's more like, all right, here's a pop quiz round table. Last thing before we move on, hopefully. SkySaga. When was it first playable? In more or less its current state. I'm not talking like tech demo. I'm talking like,
2014.
All right, yep, Matt got it. 2014. So we're 3 years away now, and we're still in Alpha 10.
That's nuts.
We're not in beta yet. We're not in closed beta yet. We're in Alpha.
It's terrible. See, but it's like I said, like everyone's gonna play it, and everyone's gonna be like, okay, there's nothing to see here, and then the hype is dead.
So, yeah, SkySaga is definitely inspired by Minecraft, right? It looks like. I bet you, and I don't know this, I bet you the whole development cycle from idea to shipped product took less time than it's taking SkySaga to be an alpha.
Probably. It's sad, but probably. That's nuts. I mean, SkySaga, I think it has potential too. It's just it's a perpetual alpha, unfortunately. And forget even Warframe today. People are still saying Warframe is still in beta, right? And it's so nuts. How do you call a game like Warframe that's continually adding all this content like still a beta? It's so unfair to call that a beta.
I mean, open beta's fine because even Gmail. Remember Gmail, guys? It was like in open beta for how long?
But the term open beta is kind of cringy too. Like, come on, like. You can technically be an open beta forever, right? Yeah. Like, why not? There's no reason not to. The second you take away the beta tag, you open your door to criticism. But if you say, oh, we're still an open beta, herpa derpa, it's just trying to dodge criticism. And it's really, that's unfair too.
I don't think as many people actually say we're still an open beta and dodge criticism the way that you're saying that.
But why is Warframe still in beta today? I don't think it's fair to call that a beta game.
If it's open to everyone, okay, at that point, I don't care what they call it, right? But with a closed beta, usually you still need either keys or there's like a chance of a wipe. There's still and they clearly are pushing the concept that it's still under development testing. So what Matt was saying, they're using that label as an excuse. Not many people use the open beta label as an excuse anymore.
I didn't say anybody used the label as an excuse, but anyways.
Well, it's a testing thing.
Mm-hmm. Well, let's jump topics to what we played this week. I think we can all tell some fun stories about our Sunday Fun Day game, which was Street Warriors Online. We were Street Warriors this last weekend. So a quick recap of what we thought about that quality fighting game.
Oh, it was shit. It's on Steam, and it reminded me that Steam needs to curate their titles. And speaking of early access and unpolished, I mean, that one pretty much epitomizes it. But I imagine it was a project done by one or two people. I think can we agree on that? This wasn't like a team sitting in an office. This was like a guy that downloaded some engine software.
It might be more than one or two. I mean,
three. All right, I'm sorry, 3 people. Okay, but
3 or 4, 3.5. We'll settle 3.5. All right.
It was. I have to say, it was probably one of the funniest Sunday Fun Days we've had. If you want to have a good laugh, you're bored, you have some friends over or something, just play a little bit of Street Warriors online, and you get a nice chuckle.
Dude, I just looked at the beginning of the video. Dude, that girl.
Quality, hot girl, right? My character. 10 out of 10.
Oh my goodness.
You gotta really show off that AI gameplay we had. So essentially,
there's some supernatural elements in this game. We were actually fighting ghosts during our first round, so here we're showing that.
So basically, as soon as we start, because we couldn't find an actual game to play against opponents, so we queued up against AI, and all the AI were invisible on our screen. Like literally, they were all invisible. We were punching ghosts for like the first 10 minutes of that game. It was nonstop buggy and silly. It was, I don't know. I think it brings up a discussion about curation on Steam, maybe.
This looks like locked in a mental hospital. The game. That's what it looks like.
I would not curse, people to play this in mental hospitals. This is a terror.
Dude, it looks like it because it's like a bunch of kids in the courtyard just like slapping the air and shit.
But beyond this game, yeah.
Look at 1524. Look at 1524 in that video. Just look at it. Look at what's happening there.
Believe me, we were there, Shu.
It was pretty hard to feel like a whole lot of effort was put into this game when the combat system consists of building combos of moves that you can upgrade, but that's about it. And then you just put them on either the left click, which is punch, or right click, which is kick, and then you just do that combo by holding the button. I mean, the combat system literally has basically nothing to it.
Well, Matt, we got 2 buttons, all right? 2 buttons is a lot of buttons. It's more than 1 button, all right?
But you have like 20 different moves.
But it's all on 2 buttons. That's it.
I know. And it's a predetermined thing that you set up. So I didn't.
I think it was trying. I think there's a few other brawler games on Steam, maybe like Lost Saga, maybe like Zone 4, and maybe Rumble Fighter, and at least those games that had more combos and things you had more influence. It was more than 2 buttons, you know. Technically, there's 3 buttons because you have a block, right? So you have a block, a left click, and a right click. That's it. So at least those other games had a little more substance to them. But yeah, this was a no-go. If you want to have fun, I say check it out for 30 minutes to an hour. It's just fun to play a Duke game sometimes. But if you look for a serious game, Street Warriors Online is definitely a pass.
Well, did you guys play any serious games this week? Now that we've gotten that out of the way.
Serious gaming,
yeah.
Well, serious as in not garbage. Did you play anything that doesn't qualify for the trash bin?
I played a shit ton of Moonlight Blade. I'm up to level 23. I played 6 hours in one night.
Wow.
How are you liking it so far, Matt?
I'm liking it. The lag is killing some of the combat because right now it's not that it's lagging, it's that the lag is inconsistent. So you'll jump around because it's inconsistent rather than just be smooth but delayed. So it's a little annoying at times when you're walking around and the game is literally taking your movement and sending it to the server and sending it to the other client because Kat and I were playing together and I was watching her move around, but she couldn't attack for a while. And then the same thing would happen to me. And I'm just sitting there why does this happen? What is going on? So I might end up playing it with a VPN or sort of ping booster just to see if it'll stabilize it. But other than that, I'm really enjoying it. I like the whole wuxia atmosphere, even if I can't understand any of the story at all. And I'm liking the combat system and the fact that I can play as a drunken fist character, basically.
I mean, again, the game looks gorgeous. Quick, for you guys that want to play Moonlight Blade, we're actually doing a Friday grind day video for it this week. But you can play it right now. There is a guide on MMOs.com how to install and play Moonlight Blade on the Chinese version of the game today. It was actually just updated. So everything in the guide should be good, and you should be able to get into the game right away if you're interested in playing it.
Well, I do want to point out real quick before, there is one issue with the guide. When you click into the guide, you have to make a QQ account. And some people, and you have to use your cell phone number to make the account, and there's really no issue with it. Some people have not been able to get past that part of the process for some reason, and I don't know a workaround yet, and it seems like no one does. So I didn't have an issue. You could buy an account, but if for free, I don't think there's a workaround as of yet. But as long as your phone number's never been used before, it should work, although there have been reported issues, so be forewarned.
This from the trailer here looks kind of cool. Like there was the flying and jumping looks kind of like in the trailer, kind of looks like Blade and Soul. But I'm curious, can you like actually like slash kiss people? Because like earlier in the trailer there was like that little like deep scene of like love, or was that like just like
I think that's story.
Ah, come on. Do any games actually let you like kiss people like that with a slash kiss? It would really up the cybering game a lot. Come on, guys. The ERPers would make a lot of money. Boom, boom, boom.
Yeah.
So Matt, what game is this most like? You think is the combat? It's supposed to be action oriented. So are we talking like Black Desert? Are we talking more like a mix of both?
If I had to compare it to something, it is the closest thing I've seen to a Dynasty Warriors MMO that's not an actual Dynasty Warriors MMO.
Really?
Yeah, you go around, like most of your attacks are like AoEs, and it's either like a straight line or like an arc around you. Even my basic is like an arc AoE, and you just hit like a bunch of enemies at once and beat the crap out of them.
Does the like a mob density feel like an action RPG like Diablo or like Moo?
No, it feels like Dynasty Warriors. It's hard to describe without you knowing.
Well, I mean, from what I remember of
Warriors
Dynasty Warriors, it was like you were fighting like 12 guys at a time.
Yeah, and that's kind of what it's like
okay.
at times.
Okay, yeah. So it's pretty dense.
Is this the game where you could play as like a little kid?
Not yet. Only in the Korean version.
Only the Korean version.
Sign me up when that comes out. Sign me up like now.
It was clearly a feature the Koreans requested, all right, to be able to create a lolly character.
It was.
No, I'm serious. I'll play it if it has that.
So again, like it's not just the guys that want to play the lolly characters, okay? Shu loves playing lolly characters in games.
I will play it right now. Whoa, this like this umbrella thing's pretty crazy in this trailer.
Mm-hmm.
One thing that Sean's pointed out though in the past is that one of the things about this game is that it's not really high fantasy. It's very low fantasy, and you're mostly going to be beating up like humanoids and like humans, not humanoids, humans, and like at the worst you're going to be beating up like big ass humans. But even like the bosses that are really high in like DPS and have the whole like telegraph thing going on, I have this ability where I can literally pick them up, spin them around, throw them back on the ground, and it deals AoE damage. So I'm having a lot of fun with that.
Awesome. And actually, just seeing like in the trailer earlier, there's like it looks like there's 2-player mounts at least on the trailer, and these minor things in MMOs, I feel like they really enhance the experience. Like 2-player mount is such like a simple thing, but I feel like it makes the world just feel more like connected and interactive. And personally, those little details can really make a game for me if they have enough like little details like that they can build up. Or is that just me? Am I the only one that still like likes those little things?
I like 2-player mounts. You know, I bought one for mommy just so that I don't have to drive the chocobo.
Because I mean, yeah.
But yeah, it adds a lot. I agree.
Is there any word on a U.S. release for this game or Western release? Or are we still?
Yeah, it's going to happen, but we don't know when.
Yeah.
Sometime
eventually, yeah.
Sometime this year?
No, it's so vague
doubt it.
right now. It's so vague. All we know is that in an update trailer for the game, on like one segment, they just kind of casually mentioned that it's going to be coming to the West, right? It wasn't even announced like on their website or anything, right? It was like in a video, in a trailer somewhere that it was sent. It was a West release. It was like event. It was in the cards basically. So we're talking like minimum end of the year, like in my opinion, minimum end of the year.
Did they say that it's gonna journey to the West?
Aha! That'd be good. That'd be really good for Journey to the West came out to the West.
Oh my! How did no one else think of that before this? Nice show.
Pretty good show. Yo, this looks pretty hype. These trailers are kind of cool, but again, these are like choreographed in-game trailers.
Well, I've been playing a much older game than this. I've been playing Diablo 3. That one event for the 20th anniversary kind of got me got me to try the game again. And while I know a lot of people have been complaining about it, it's too short, yada yada. At some point you got to realize it's a 5-year-old game. So the fact that they added some new content, it's fine, it's fun. It didn't take me long to beat it, maybe 20-30 minutes. But after
that's it, really?
Yeah. But
wasn't it supposed to be like more of a big thing?
I think expectations were kind of pumped up. But here's the thing. Here's my main point. It got me to try the game again, right? So after I beat it, I kept playing. I did the other stuff, like the rifts, greater rifts, And it's a solid game. It actually feels a lot smoother than it did when I first played it, 5 years ago. and they must have patched it, quite a bit because it felt smooth. It looked better than it did 5 years ago. So overall, if you can get it on sale for like $20 or something with the expansion, it's definitely worth a play for some good old fashioned mindless dungeon crawling.
I mean, how many hours do you have on Diablo 3? Because I think you told me the other day, and I was surprised because I don't remember you playing the game that long, but you said you got like a shit ton of time.
I have over 100 hours on my wizard.
Wow. What's your wizard's name again? I remember it was pretty cringy.
The name of my wizard is Wizard. Because I was all right, here's the story. I was camping the Diablo 3 launch, and I thought the character names would be unique, because in a lot of games they are. So I was there at midnight, when it was launching. I pre-ordered all that. I kept trying to log in, enter, and so the servers, as soon as they go up, I get in. So I got in. I named my wizard Wizard because I couldn't think. I was thinking Merlin, but that's kind of gay. But so was Wizard. But
yeah,
but I wanted to play. I didn't want to think about it too much. So I just typed something I thought would be like cool, like Wizard. Yeah, I'll be the wizard named Wizard. But the names are not unique. It's by your account name or your Blizzard tag or whatever. Mm-hmm. So I'm stuck with a shitty name.
Do you plan on making Necromancer when that comes out? You gotta buy it separately. Remember that Rise of the Necromancer pack they called it?
No. I've only played the Wizard. So I have plenty of other classes to play first. I have no interest in buying or paying for a class.
Oh man, it still bothers me to hear like that's the monetization model. They're gonna be selling a class. That's so cringy. I hate it. I mean, obviously it takes a lot of work to do it, but still, it's kind of annoying.
And no thanks.
Have any of you played Diablo 3 here?
I played a lot of Diablo 3. Too much. I don't think I could go back and play it. I was there the day it launched. I waited for those servers to come online. I played 12 hours straight. I must have hundreds of hours in that game. Loved it while I played it, but I don't really have a desire to go back, and I was not motivated to return.
Never played.
I started Diablo 3 over a few times. Played the first hour and quit.
No, at least you tried it. Shu, what about you? Have you ever played Diablo 3?
I was one of the testers for the BlizzCon version, and then that's it. That's the only time I played.
Did it get high marks in your test?
it was when I was working at Blizzard, and then we had to test the build, and then I was like, I'm done.
not enough cute lollies for you, all right?
Yeah.
I hope you left that on the report card, all right? That should have been right at the top. Not enough cute lollies. Return for redevelopment. Get good.
I mean, I don't know why I didn't get into it. I mean, I don't know.
It's one of those games that I think got too much hate, honestly, and the reaction didn't really match reality because one, Blizzard actually improved it a lot over the years by streamlining stuff. But secondly, it sold really well. This is one of I think the top 10 selling games of all time. Diablo 3.
Wow. I didn't know that.
Even I was shocked when I read that. It sold, I don't know the exact number. Maybe we can look it up here. Diablo 3 total sales, but it sold really well. So
you know what? I'm actually not excited. I'm not surprised by that. I would like to see. I want to see how many of those sales, the average number of hours that were put into the game, because I think a lot of D2 players expected something different, and they walked away disappointed.
Are we talking medium? Because I know people who do play like thousands of hours.
Right. That's true. Yeah, medium would be better.
Okay, I don't know. But Diablo 3 sold over 30 million copies.
Damn.
I didn't play any of them, really. Like seriously?
Diablo 2 or 1?
Nope.
Well, you missed out.
Probably.
I think, what I played this week is pretty standard. I was playing Final Fantasy 14 this week, as I usually do. And just a little minor thing just kind of came up, kind of reminded me of, a feature MMOs that I do like. I was actually just sitting in my house in Final Fantasy talking with 3 people, right? It was basically a chat room, right? And I was in Discord with everybody in that chat room anyway, right? So literally the people I'm talking to are on Discord with me. But I was talking to them on Final Fantasy in my house, on these chairs around this table, right? But there's something about that I feel like it's a bigger discussion about avatars almost. Obviously we're all in Discord together, we have each other on Skype. But when I see somebody in a game, we're basically face to face. It's obviously not the same thing as face to face in real life, but I feel like it's a little more personal when you see them in front of you. And I don't think you can capture that on a chat client.
I think so too.
Or am I being retarded?
No, I agree.
Aion, Gumby, Matt?
It gives a face to a voice, so it does. I guess it becomes more personalized. But I've been using VoIPs for years now.
Me
And
too. Yeah, but
I don't know how much it adds because I don't do that. I got to be honest. I've never sat and talked.
Really?
No.
All right.
I feel like
maybe I'm
you're
missing
trying to hark back to an earlier time. Where I remember before VoIP, when things before dual monitors, 56K modems, I used to log into MMORPGs and talk to people like my friends that were my friends only in the game. I had no other way to talk to them. So once in a while we'd hang, every day at like 4, we'd all like meet up in this one like part of town. We'd just talk. We talk and we adventure together. That I think went away and it's not coming back. With Facebook, with free high speed video calls and stuff like that on Skype or whatever, Discord. The whole location inside of virtual reality, like in your house in Final Fantasy.
Is it really dead? Again, I sat there for like an hour just like chilling and talking. It was fun.
But,
I feel like it's like we're sharing like time in like a world.
But you guys experienced it back then. That's why you kind of still have an attachment to it. I don't think people today do it.
Well, I've played online games for ages now. I don't think I've ever felt that it added anything to talk to people through text chat in the game. Even when I played a lot of Link Realms, right? And Link Realms has the text come up over your head. Like it's not a chat bubble, but it's over the person's head. I never thought that particularly added anything. It was just the way that I communicated with them. That's it.
Yeah, I think it's nostalgia on the part of Omar and Shu.
Possible. I do. It's possible it's nostalgia. But again, those people were all on Discord with me. Literally every single one of those people I was chatting with were on Discord, and I could talk to them like I normally do. But for some reason, being in the same room on that little table and doing a little dance every once in a while, like doing funny emotes while we're talking, just really enhanced the experience. Maybe I'm just being derpy and nostalgic, but I enjoyed it.
Like for me, it's actually completely different because hanging out like that it's like spending time in like another world together. It's like a different like a second life almost type of a thing. So it's a lot different like than me just talking to somebody in Skype. At least for me, it feels more like spending time together, I guess.
I think Aaron's right though with the nostalgia thing. I think it's because we grew up playing these games, Shu. I do think people who are new to the game.
I specifically look for that when I play games. You know what I mean?
But do you think new players will do that? The younger, like people that are 17, 18 today, do they have the same feelings? I don't think. I don't think so. Unfortunately, I don't know.
I think if they're looking for the same thing, I don't necessarily think it's just a nostalgia thing. It's actually what I actively look for in like a MMO. And like I said, that's not going to be everyone, right? A lot of people just play MMOs just to play MMOs, but for me, it has like a deeper meaning, I guess. Like more. I mean, it's pretty nerdy and lame, but
nerd. Look at this nerd playing video games.
That's like for me, it means a lot more than just playing the game and chat.
Yeah, that's what I did this week.
Is it my turn?
Sure. How about it?
All right, I played. I actually streamed last night, and I played. What is it called?
A little bit of that Overwatch. The MMO first.
No. I played this game. Check it out.
All right, drop the link.
It is called. I didn't change the thing. It's the art
of the deal.
Or the deal. There you go.
I forgot.
You forgot what you played.
It is called. Holy crap! I'm mind blanking right now. I'm full Baka right now.
All right, she's going full Baka right now. I think
it's a VR game.
Oh, there the art of fight is what I played. It's a VR like I guess you could call it like a MMO. You can call Counter-Strike an MMO. Actually, it doesn't have like weapon progression and stuff, but it's a VR shooter multiplayer, and I did a lot of deathmatch last night.
Mm-hmm.
And if you watch the video, you can see it's pretty neat. It has like some interesting locomotion and stuff. There's a lot of exercise because like you actually have to swing your arms and stuff to like move. You have to like pull the air. It's hard to explain.
Well, you have to actually pull the air. You don't move by using a teleporter?
No, you have to move. So so the way you move is the best way to explain it is you have the top buttons on the Vive controllers, and when you reach out and then you press it, it's like grabbing the air and you pull it towards you, and then you move in that direction. It's really hard to explain, but so what happens is if you know when you run and you swing your arms, if you do that and you time it perfectly, it'll actually run because it's like you're pulling the air right when you're running.
That's kind of cool, yeah.
Yeah, so that's the locomotion. So like if you want to like go backwards, you grab the air in front of you, push away, and it'll go backwards. And has full like combat, like swords and like ops and stuff. And
is it like Guns of Duel? Can you block bullets with your sword? Come on.
You can, I think. I saw people doing it, but the sword's actually really good if you actually because you can parkour in this game. You can actually like climb onto ledges and stuff. It's really hard for me because I'm so short. So it's like difficult.
It affects you in game. You get gimped in game.
It does. I can't climb stuff because like I can't reach high enough to like because what you do is you reach your hands up and you grab the ledge and then you pull yourself up, and I can't do it because I'm too.
It's pretty hilarious if like one day VR gaming gets so big that like having limited height actually is a big like negative. Like it can actually hurt your gameplay. Like video games are supposed to escape from that.
At the same time, I have a lower profile too, right?
You have a smaller hitbox, right?
I have a smaller hitbox.
Oh, that's OP.
That's crazy.
Yeah, but then like you know like these people like they use like the katana and they like parkour up to the second story, and then they like jump down on you and they like cut you in the face and you just die instantly.
It looks cool though. I think I might give this a try.
So what you're saying is in the future.
If you want, I'll play it
Maybe,
later tonight, or if you're gonna get it now, I'll play it a little bit before I go to bed. But it's really really fun, and I think it's very very enjoyable. I had like a whole session where I hid in like a tower and I offed people.
Dirty camper. Great. Shu dirty camper confirmed.
It's at 38 on the video I sent, but I tried to shoot a guy with like an Uzi from across the room, and the spread's like way too high. And it's kind of like Onward. You have to like learn how to reload every gun, but it's super fun. It has like a Counter-Strike mode too, so it's like a 4v4 like objective based thing.
Looks awesome.
So what this VR stuff is telling me is in the future, the jocks will also be the best at video games. It's like, like some small like weak kid is like he's trying to play like this game, and the jock guy just like jumps through the roof and one shots him and he's swinging around.
That's a funny thought.
Back to the back of the lunch table, guys. That's it. We're done.
Rip. The one thing we were good at. Physical strength didn't matter.
My arms are actually like pretty tired from playing it. But the thing that's great about it is you don't really notice it when you're playing. So it's
you're in the zone.
VR, guys, is like free exercise. It's free.
It's free. It should cost like $1,000.
Free with an asterisk.
No,
computer.
It's free in a sense of like effort, right?
Okay.
Because I mean, when you think about it, right? Like you think about exercise, you're like, hey, you want to go sit on this bike and like bike for like an hour like in place, or you can play this game, right?
Play some FPS.
Wouldn't you rather play this than sit on a bike or run on a treadmill?
Well, obviously, I'd much rather do that.
Exactly.
Again, yeah,
so it's free.
Again,
it's
we
free
need the Vive with the wireless. The wireless is important. I hate when the shit gets wrapped around me.
I don't know if you guys heard about this.
Yeah, it's coming. I know.
It's coming.
I know.
And they're getting that resolution you want, Omer.
Good shit.
It's time to sell. Time to sell.
Good stuff.
Well, I have been playing the big game this week. I've been playing the biggest MMORPG launch of 2017, and that is, of course, Vanilla World of Warcraft. And
you mean Q Simulator?
Well, not for me because I know how to jip the system, but because I'm a pro at WoW,
Wow, you're so good at WoW.
I gotta say, I haven't been addicted to this game where I could be medically defined as addicted since probably the release of Final Fantasy XIV, which is probably about 3 years ago. I feel like a compulsion to play, like a crack addict who has to go buy from Tito on 4th Street. But I don't know if it's just nostalgia. And I'm going to put this out there because I'm sure someone will say it. The 20,000 people or 15,000, because it's hard to tell with the DDoSing, don't queue up to play a game and sit in queue all day purely off of nostalgia. And if they do, then nostalgia is the most addictive mental property that exists. I can't. It's just the number of people who turned out to play was incredible. There were 20,000 person queues to get in the server. The authenticator server has been constantly breaking. Yet people have sat around all day since Saturday when it released trying to play. And to put it out there, I would say that if you've never played Vanilla WoW, you probably won't like it. It's compared to the games we've been playing, newer MMORPGs, the pace is so slow. And I think that's what I love about it. It's this slow pace where everything takes forever, but that makes you appreciate everything that you're doing that much more. Every +3 intellect amulet is so valuable. But I'm loving it. I'm going to keep journal on the site. The second part's coming out soon. Try and figure out what it is about Vanilla WoW that's so special. Yeah, I can't stop playing. It's ridiculous.
Wow.
You're right. It's not just nostalgia. It's that it's free.
Yeah, that helps.
No, because I pay for games.
I think you're understating how much it's free factors into everyone else's
I will tell you this
decision.
right now. Nobody's playing this. I think every single person I've talked to played vanilla back in the day. So
Yeah,
no,
but
I don't think I don't
none
want
of
this
them-
to turn into a free
none of
debate
them
over whether or
would
not to
pay it today.
No, hold on, Matt. They wouldn't pay it if they could play a different Vanilla WoW server for free. Let's say this was the only Vanilla WoW server and it cost money. I think then they would pay.
I
But if-
really doubt it.
Okay, well, that's not where the conversation was going, and I really don't want to take it there because it's just going to be a circle jerk. But been having a lot of fun. If you played, I would wait a week or so, or maybe even a month before you try and get in, though the queues seem to be fixed now. People who AFK are getting kicked. But yeah, and I'm going to keep playing.
You know what's crazy about Vanilla WoW? When I first played it in open beta, my big complaint, I didn't love it at first. My big complaint was this game is too casual.
Really?
Yes, because I was coming from games like, Star Wars Galaxies, EverQuest, Ultima Online, Dark Age of Camelot. That was my 4 big MMOs before. So this was like I died, nothing happened. I'm a ghost, I just run back in 2 seconds, nothing happened. I didn't feel like there was any point to dying. Actually, it actually felt fast to me. And so when Gumball told me how slow it is, I had to think back to my experience playing Vanilla WoW. And I remember my goal when I played it was 1 level a day in the mid-40s and up. So faster before that. But from 40 to 60, my goal was 1 a day. And I'd play after school. I don't remember exactly how long it took me, but it was hours and not minutes. And that was a good pace. I didn't think that was a problem. But obviously today I'm used to leveling every 5 minutes. So maybe if I go back now, it'll feel slow.
Our perception of time has changed. Okay, we're so used to playing all these games where you level like 5 times every hour that anything beyond that just feels like too slow. Only because we lost track of of the leveling speeds in games now.
I think we also underplay another element, and that's that WoW is ridiculously popular, and there were a lot of people that there are a lot of people that played vanilla. It's a Blizzard game. It came out at the right time. And it's been years of people saying we need an official vanilla server and vanilla is great. And I think just the fact that there have been people saying all these years, we need a vanilla server, vanilla is great, and it's been this major thing that's been on major networks. I think just seeing that kind of built up the hype, even not just for people that have played it, but for people that haven't played it in the past. And I think that Nostalrius hitting that perfect mark of almost retail and just getting the recognition for that alone kind of drew in all those people that have had it in their minds that vanilla was the greatest thing ever, and the people that are wondering why they think it's the greatest thing ever. I think we're underplaying just how much people have talked about this over the years and how much it's been building up in people's heads. And I think that's where the devotion to this comes from.
So you think it's sizzle and no steak?
Yeah, basically.
I will bet you anything, Matt, in 2 weeks, 3 weeks, people will still be playing this en masse. Maybe
and
not
they probably will.
Yeah.
They probably will. I'm not saying they won't.
That means there's a steak too there. There's sizzle and steak then.
When does the sizzle phase out and we see whether the steak is still there or if it's charred to death? 1 month, 2 months, 3 months, 1 year? At what
when
point?
Nostalrius shut down, the numbers I have, and I know I can't verify them right now. I could try, but the numbers I have were there were 8,000 people on the PvP server and 3,000 on the PvP server. You're talking 11,000 total. 11,000 total puts you top 40 on Steam. It's no joke. And that's Nostalrius had been out for, I'd want to say, I actually don't know how long, but I think it was more than a year at least.
I might have missed it when I was gone, but wasn't Blizzard like doing something with that, or I mean, did they talk to them or something? And I guess they just said fuck it.
Nothing
Or
came out of
something?
that. Yeah.
Nothing came out of it. Yeah.
So I guess they had a talk, and then Blizzard was like, no, and then they're like, well, fuck you then, and then.
Yeah,
I'm
that's
guessing-
gist of it.
That's my guess, like how it went down.
So right now in Australia, it's under 3 servers. They have a population of what, 7, 11, 22,000. So where would that put them on Steam?
I'd say about 16,000 right now. I think I thought it was 20, but I think the DDoS was screwing up the number. As of right now, there's about 14,500 in Discord, and there's 11,500 on the server. And I think the queue is around 4,000, so it's about 15, 16,000.
I'm counting the other servers too, because on Steam it counts multiple servers. So I'm seeing right now on their live site 22,000. So where would that put them on Steam?
I think number
high up there.
34, 35, maybe a little higher, maybe 25.
I think higher than I'm looking at it right now. But I think they did benefit a lot from the hype that Matt was talking about, where every publication talked about vanilla servers. But I do think there are people that just really want to play vanilla WoW, and I think a lot of people who are kind of interested in the hype. I don't know if those players who are just passerby curious people really want to wait through a 5,000 person queue. Like they'll get to a point where they download the game, install it, 5,000 person queue. Fuck it, I'm not playing it. The people that stick around are the people that actually do want to play the game, I think.
I want to point out too that this is like my last point about it. The day it launched and since then, people have had to either line up to complete quests where you collect items because there's so many people, or they've had to give up on the quest, or it's a mad scramble to pick up items, like unique items. So I think that anybody who has a casual interest isn't going to fucking stick around in a line and wait for something to respawn. I mean, I waited 2 hours for a collectible quest, and then I just gave up.
Wow.
You know, there's something to be said that I'm not the only one, and now I don't do collection quests at all. But
what? How many people in the queue would you say?
I don't know because I've been skipping it, but I think it's between 2 and 4. I'm not sure right now.
So this game is, I would say, is about number 15 on Steam, if it were on Steam.
That's incredible.
That is really
and
incredible.
MMORPGs too. It's gonna be one of the most popular MMORPGs on Steam. You know, if we're looking purely MMORPG and we're not counting the stuff we call MMOs, Warframe has some MMORPG elements. It's number 11. It's like 27,000. So after Warframe, I think it would be that. It'd be number 2. If you want to count Warframe as an MMORPG. If not, it's number 1. It'd be the number 1 MMORPG on Steam if it was on Steam. That's insane. But yeah,
Biggest game of the year, baby.
Biggest MMORPG of the year. Biggest MMORPG launch of the year so far. But it could still be, uprooted.
All right, prediction.
Obviously.
Will any MMORPG release beat this year? I say no.
It's possible. I think
It is
when
possible.
Revelation launches, it could be huge. At least initially, it could get concurrent players that are well above that. I think, at least in the launch week, because we've seen the hype on that game in closed beta when it was not even in English. It was massive.
I mean, you also have to keep in mind that Black Desert pulled in something like 100,000 concurrent players a day. They said it in a press release.
Yeah, that's
when it
insane.
launched.
All right.
So if we have a game like Black Desert, if Bless ever comes around, like those
Bless
games,
is by
they could definitely
Aria,
fall off.
guys. You guys are giving Aria a lot of hope.
Matt did say BDO had about 100,000 concurrent on launch week, so that's pretty incredible.
Launch month.
Launch month.
Yeah,
Actually, maybe
BDO
2
is bigger,
months.
but remember, that was last year. That ain't this year.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
I know. We might
No,
get
I'm
another.
saying the fact that BDO did launch with those numbers makes it possible to happen this year.
Yeah.
No, I certainly think it's possible. It was just like a guess, a prediction on my end that it would not.
Yeah.
Nothing would beat it.
It's a good guess. It could go either way, but it's
All right,
just
we'll see.
remarkable that old game has that kind of cachet. Speaking of not old games, this is not quite old. Want to talk about a game that went free to play this last week? One which I will claim a victory lap for. We have Atlas Reactor. Remember that game?
Yep.
It's going back to free to play. This game has an identity crisis. All right, literally a crisis. It was at first free to play, and then they're like, wait a minute, we gotta make some moolah. So they went buy to play, and now they're like, holy shit, we're buy to play. Why would we just go free to play after we've gotten all that money already? They got the buy to play money. Now they're going back to free to play, which is pretty funny.
Wait, really? Are they giving refunds or something? Like,
No. Shit, they ain't about those refunds, all right?
that's fucked up, dude.
No, they'll give people something, because like if you bought the game, you get access to all the heroes, right? You still have access to all those heroes if you paid for it. It just now as a free to play game, you have to unlock those heroes with in-game currency, whereas before you couldn't. You were super limited what you can do in the free trial. So you still get something for paying for it, but obviously it's still kind of weird, you know? And as long as you give people something, people aren't really going to complain. But it's just funny that they started free-to-play, went buy-to-play, and they went back to free-to-play. That model, though, I think is the best business decision because you milk everyone that will pay for it, and then you get all the free-to-play users as well. It's like the smartest way to make money, but it's still kind of scummy, I think.
I just think it's funny that they said they were listening to their players when they went buy to play at the beginning of last year, and now they're saying they're listening to their players by going free to play.
Yeah,
So
players don't always
apparently,
know.
apparently what they've got is they've got one heckler that's just sitting in the back telling them to do the exact opposite of everything they do, and they just happen to listen to him twice.
He's bound to be right on the second time, all right?
This game needed to be free to play because I played it. I was like, oh, it's a nice gimmick. You know, I'll play it once in a while, but it's not something I paid for.
I think Shu, me, and a few other people tried to play it when it was there was a free trial. Like we couldn't because like it was so restrictive that we just gave up right away. You know, like we wanted to play it, but we couldn't because it was buy to play. It was buy to play with a free trial, and the free trial was kind of lame. But now that it's free to play, it's a game I could see myself going back to just play a couple of rounds. And I'm glad they did go free to play though, because it's actually a really fun game. I mean, I say if you haven't played it, give it a try.
Here.
I thought it was fun.
Yeah, it's different. It's a little different. On January 17th, by the way, it'll be officially free to play. And I feel like the people that wanted to be buy to play, I get like they wanted all the heroes, right? And they feel like if you're hardcore into the game, you might think like, okay, we need all the heroes available, right? And it's a big part of the game having all the heroes available. But the kind of game it was, I don't think it's got the massive appeal to survive as a buy to play game. Like a game, like if you're Overwatch, you can charge money because you're Blizzard. You got so much marketing, so much time to make a polished product. Here, you need the player base. These games live and die by player bases. If your player base is so small, you have such a big problem because matchmaking is not built on small player bases. You need a massive player base to support balanced matchmaking. And then if you have poor matchmaking, even your casual and unranked games will be just not fun for new players. Imagine buying this game and the player base is so small that when you jump into a queue, you just get dunked because you have no idea what's going on. Or you play the tutorial, but you're still going to get dunked because you're playing against veterans. But if you have a constant queue of people playing, trying the game for free, you'll have a better time. Everyone will have a better time. That's why these games have to be free.
Here. Oh, speaking of a game that will not be free, this week, Landmark. It was finally announced that Landmark.
Oh, that's still a thing?
Yes, it was supposed to be EverQuest Landmark and then just Landmark, and now Daybreak has announced that they will be shutting it down. It was never really big on Steam. I know there was like less than a dozen people playing it at any given time. But what I found surprising was the tone of the language the Daybreak announcement used. I know Turbine got some shit a few weeks ago for saying they will not be releasing the code for Asheron's Call. Mm-hmm. So Daybreak wanted to nip right in the bud any hope that this game would survive. FAQ section said, what happens to all the code data from Landmark? Can someone open an emulator server for Landmark? Daybreak Game Company will retain all code. Will not license or authorize operation of Landmark emulator or fan operated server. So they're like, no, there's no hope. We do not want you to play this game. And the second FAQ, remember this FAQ only had like 2 questions. So these were the 2 frequently asked things. This is what they wanted to make sure you understood. There would be no refund. So they're like, no, you can't keep playing it on a fan server, and no, you will not get your money back.
That's quite the FAQ. Those are the only things that were on it?
It was those hilarious. 2, and then contact us for more information. So those are the only 2 real questions in their FAQ.
Did they at least wine you and dine you, at least? No?
No, this was just dry, right in there, No announcement.
This is. I mean, honestly, who didn't see this coming? The moment EverQuest Next was canceled, I think everyone knew in the back of their mind that there is no chance for Landmark to survive as a standalone title.
Yeah. And
thoughts? Yeah.
No chance. No chance. It was clearly a milking operation over at Daybreak. Which
was a dairy operation?
By the way, guys, I don't know if you guys know this. Daybreak is owned by Columbus Nova, which is a hedge fund / investment fund. This is Wall Street shitting on our dreams here, right, guys?
Wall Street is ruining our MMOs.
Damn you, Wall Street!
It gets worse. Or it gets weirder. Columbus Nova's primary owner is a Russian oligarch, a Ukrainian Russian oligarch. So I don't know if you guys know this, but until very recently, I guess in our lifetime, Russia had no private property. So this guy managed to become a billionaire in the 20 years of private ownership in the country. So basically, they're all buddy with the government and all stealing. That's the only way to become a billionaire in Russia, unless you invent something.
Wow.
Like yeah, unless you invent something like technology related, you kind of you scummed your way up there. So
didn't Kalishnikov die poor?
I think the song I scummed
Didn't
my way to the
Kalishnikov
top.
die poor?
Conspiracy theory much?
yeah, so
I think it's upsetting not to release the source code though for the community. I mean, do they? So why don't we just speculate, or at least maybe we can inform someone who has may question like why wouldn't they give the community the tools to run their own server to keep it going? It would benefit if they have no plans to use the IP further.
my only guess could be that when they finally liquidate Daybreak Games and they close everything, the only thing of value they will have, of any value, limited value, it will be the EverQuest license or IP. And Landmark is marginally related to EverQuest, and they don't want to taint that IP.
Right. Because then you can end up with a copyright battle.
That's all I can think of. I don't really know.
Maybe it could be like an accounting gimmick too, because the way accounting works is all the money they spent making Landmark, it's still on the balance sheet. Like you'll subtract the cash and you add your credits on the balance sheet to like game technologies, right? Is what you put in there. And obviously now they cancel the game, they got to deduct that balance of the game technology because it's not as valuable as they thought it was before. But the moment they give it away for free, they have to deduct it to zero, right? It shows a loss if they give it away because they know it's literally worth nothing then, right? But by canceling it, they can pretend like it's still worth something. So it could be like an accounting gimmick too. Is one of the reasons a lot of these companies don't give away the code right away.
Have you guys ever actually seen AAA company give away their game though?
No.
I mean, you guys say this like you're surprised that this happened.
Yeah,
it was just a conversation.
Look at this beautiful mug, guys. This guy looks like he could be a wizard from EverQuest. All right, this guy, he is the billionaire in charge of not in charge of, but the owner of Daybreak.
So he single-handedly decided to ruin.
This guy woke up one
He
morning.
woke up one day. He's like, "Fuck EverQuest.
EverQuest
next."
next. I'm not having it.
I don't think he plays any day-to-day role at all. Oh, I mean, somebody pointed out that didn't Carmack release the Quake code?
There you go.
So there's precedent.
Well, it's years and years and years after its shelf life, and it's not an MMO.
Yeah, I mean,
Also, a lot of companies kind of don't specifically give it away, but they don't make it a point in the announcement where they're closing the game to say we will not authorize any fan project.
We're never going to license it.
What normal people say is, okay, due to sales or whatever or business, we decided to close the servers on X date, and that's thank you for playing. We sincerely hope all of you agree, blah 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 blah. They don't say FAQ, no money back. You can't keep playing our game. Like that was.
They're just like fuck you, by the way.
Just say nothing. If people want to emulate it, whatever.
There are plenty of companies that have straight up said you're not allowed to emulate it because people have asked. I mean, plenty.
That's different, but in the announcement where they're closing a game, I've never seen that before.
Yeah, well, you did say that Escheron's Call, they just had the whole deal with that, and they probably were influenced by that.
Yeah. They wanted to make sure, people
also, as far as these open source things go that you guys are mentioning with Doom 3 and all that, it's a little different because they don't open source any of the assets. It's literally just the code. You have to buy the game in order for it to work.
Well, yeah, the art assets and stuff are not the same. I mean, putting out the code is still something, and you can respect that they did it for free. Like, they didn't have to do any of this, they just did it.
Well, they don't have to, but the other thing about MMOs, if you put out the server, you can literally just redirect the client to the server. So you can get you can get the entire game based on your old client just by having the server, so it's different. You have to buy Doom, play Doom, the open source version, in the exact way that it was meant to be. You don't have to do that if they give out the server code. And even if they give out the server code to just one person, everyone can still play it. I mean, it's very different.
But Doom 3 isn't free either. I mean, it's not shutting down. Like, it's not like the game just doesn't exist anymore. I think it's conceivable that if Doom 3, they said, we're never going to sell it again, it's for free. I think if they ever go, Doom 3 is free for everyone, they might just release all the art too. Like, who cares, It's possible, it's conceivable. But
it's different. It's very different.
All I heard was you said, we have no precedent for a AAA company to release their source code. And I think there's precedent right here.
Damn. Get lawyer. Ace Attorney in the house. Objection. Overruled.
But it has not happened for an MMO. Yes, for a big MMO, it's never happened voluntarily.
Again, I didn't expect them to say, well, we're shutting it down. Here's all our code. What I didn't expect them to say, though, is specifically, so directly, no, don't do this. And you're not getting your money back. Guys, can we just talk about how scummy that is for a minute?
What did you say? They said there's no chance of refunds?
No, there's more or less. I'll bring up the exact wording here. They said, what happens to my Daybreak cash I purchased? It goes, it's in your account. Use it for other games.
Oh.
Because, okay, right. And here's my comparison. I know we talked a few weeks ago about Hero Song by Mr. Smedley. He tried to make a game, like a 2D kind of hardcore MMORPG. He raised some money, but within the year, he said, you know what, it's not happening, and he shut it down. And he said everyone gets a refund.
Even Kickstarter people gave, and Indiegogo people, not Kickstarter. Indiegogo people got refunds too for Hero Song.
Yeah, so compare these two tales here. A lot of people originally purchased Landmark back when it was called EverQuest Landmark, and they thought they were purchasing a game which would be part of the EverQuest bundle, I guess, where you could play it and progress and make things that would eventually somehow carry over or complement your EverQuest Next experience. Mm-hmm. And then they took that away. At that point, you should have got a refund. Instead, they kept the game kind of going in life support all year, all throughout 2016, and I think they did it just to take the money. Honestly,
it's kind of scummy. I think people deserve refunds if they. I think anyone who. But the thing is, could they have gotten a refund the moment they changed it? I think the moment they changed it from EverQuest Landmark to just Landmark, and they dropped integration with EverQuest, like at that point, I feel people should have gotten refunds.
Yeah, but remember, also intent kind of matters in these things. Like at that time when they dumped the EverQuest name, were they serious? Did they actually think this game would kind of come out and stand on its own?
I can't believe it. No,
I think they knew it was a money grab. Yeah, I think they knew it was a money grab.
And they wanted to just keep selling it or something. Maybe they figured we already have a product here. Like maybe after EverQuest was dumped, EverQuest Next was canceled. They got into a meeting and they said, "Listen, we have this thing called Landmark. It's not going to integrate, but it's a thing. It works. There's something here." And the boss is like, "Okay, salvage it. Get as much money as you can, make a product, and release it." Maybe that was their thought process. I don't think they said we're going to scam. They just said maybe we can salvage some money out of this, and it might be a decent game or product. But it's still kind of scummy. I think people should get refunds if they want it. Do you think if they opened up refunds, what % of people do you think would ask for refunds?
Very few.
I don't think everyone rushes for refunds. Even a game like Hero Song, which is canceled, people are just gonna eat their loss. Most people.
It's true.
Yeah, someone in chat was saying they were actually thinking about buying it a few months ago, which kind of implies that they were kind of dangling out there in case they could trick a few people into paying money for the abandoned game. Mm-hmm. All right, boys, let's play a game now. What's next on the chopping block? My favorite game here at Daybreak Hour. So we got H1Z. It's 2 H1Z1s now.
No chance. H1Z1's doing well.
So it's insanely popular.
There's Planetside 2.
They've also rededicated their dev to Just Survive. So it's not like Just Survive is going to get King of the Kill is going to keep going.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so okay, I think you're right. They're also the newest games I think by them, so those are pretty safe and they're popular. So Planetside 2, DC Universe, or EverQuest 1 and 2?
I think EverQuest is safe. I think they're all safe. Honestly, I think they're all safe.
Really?
I think Planetside 2 is on the chopping block next.
You think so?
They just completely redid
a lot of pretty well.
Which one, Shu?
The DC Universe.
I think it's doing okay on consoles. I don't think it's big on PC. It gets about like 700 concurrent users, which again is not awful, but it's not huge. But I think it might be doing better on consoles.
Isn't it crazy though how like the originals seem to be doing like solid like same thing with like Lineage, right?
All those old games have so much like nostalgia and staying power, so they got dedicated fans.
Is it Ragnarok like dying though?
No, I think the official servers are still going. Yeah, they're still going. And they've been going for such a long time that I think it'd be silly to bet on them shutting down anytime soon. If they can go for 10 years, what's another 5 years,
Hey, you guys want some speculation on Ragnarok though? I just saw that.
First Daybreak, right? First Daybreak speculation. Which game is shutting down from Daybreak according to Aaron? I think none of them will shut down this year.
Okay, we got none. And what was yours, Gumble?
Oh, I didn't know it was this year. You just said shut down next. I would say Planetside 2 will be the next game they go to shut down at some point.
Right?
Oh, next. That's a different question.
I don't think that Planetside 2 is going to be shutting down because they just did that whole revamp where they added the whole base construction and resource gathering crap. So
And it gets like a couple thousand players online concurrently. That's pretty solid.
So then, do you think anything's shutting down, Matt, or do you think none?
I'm thinking. I think probably DC Universe, if anything. DC has not had a good history with MMOs.
Sure. Any
I want to
guesses?
say DC just because you said it was dying on PC, but
it's been
going
declining.
strong on console. Yeah, then
I'm potentially strong. I don't know about the console, but I'm potentially strong in console.
I'd say that one then, DC Universe.
Yeah, I'll go with you guys on that one. I think it's DC for two reasons: the declining popularity and the license renewal. Planet Side 2 they own, so even if it's doing shitty, they could theoretically keep it up. But with DC Universe, they gotta pay for that license, and they might choose not to. So yeah, my guess is also DC Universe.
I want to say there is a growing demand for console MMORPGs. You guys might be surprised, but I look at the YouTube comments we get on like our Blessed videos and stuff. So many people have asked, "Is this game coming to Xbox? Is it coming to PS4?" People are asking for obviously there's no chance Blessing to come to the consoles like anytime soon, if ever. But people are asking for them. So I think consoles are gonna be pretty big for some of these free to play MMOs. Which is why I said DC might be doing well on consoles.
Right, well, time will tell. All right, Ragnarok Hour. Let's hear it.
Let's hear it, Shu.
It's just speculation from me. So, this user, what's his name? It was David Ty on YouTube. Released this VR Ragnarok video. I'm sure we covered it before, didn't we?
What do you say?
He's making like a VR version of Ragnarok Online.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
Come on!
Yeah.
It's so silly, but funny.
Yeah. So, I mean, if you looked at it, it was obvious he put a lot of work into it. Like he really worked on the locomotion. Has like its own locomotion. You can pull the weapons out, the swords. It even has combat. Like the pourings, like come up and fight you. You hit them, and you can dodge the pourings and stuff. So he actually put some work into it, and he has like the whole thing from Pantera to Aion, right? Anyway, so this guy was posting, I'm making this Ragnarok Online fan game, and then all of a sudden he just disappeared. So what if, like, if you look, like there was like so much hype behind his videos. He made like 2 of them, right? And people were like, "Oh, like can't wait to see, what you make of it." And then it just one day, just nothing, right? So what if speculation? Gravity was like, I thought that was a good idea, and grabbed him.
Possible.
Well, the alternative is Gravity's like, that's a bad idea, cease and desist.
Yeah, that's a possible alternative.
But the thing is if they say that, usually the guy will be like, "Oh, well, guys, sorry, I got cease and desisted." Or the people make a big deal of it.
That's true.
Right? He didn't say anything. He just disappeared.
Unless he was too depressed about it.
Or they might have said like, "Don't talk about it,"
Maybe.
Yeah.
Oh, I got it. Maybe Gravity murdered him. I think that's the.
They made a pros and cons list of the pros of killing this guy and a cons list.
Even on his I just looked at his Facebook right now.
Wow, we got a stalker right here. She was looking at the man's Facebook.
Yeah, and it was just like the last post was the Ragnarok version 1.2.2 on May 1st of last year. It's the very, very last thing he posted. It was the video, and it was just gone. So
it's weird though. Wouldn't more people play Ragnarok if like this became a thing and popular? But then maybe on private servers still. But
that's what I mean. Is like,
it
what if
can only help. I'm
him?
saying.
What if Ragnarok snatched him? They were like, "Hey, this is a good idea. Let's just do this."
Maybe.
Right?
I don't know.
No,
if they think VR is a good idea, they're about to lose some money.
Okay, here's what I see. I see a tech demo. Okay, and if they thought it was a good idea, I don't think they'd grab him for a tech demo like this. I think they'd just do it themselves. Like, what's the point of grabbing this guy?
If you think Gravity can do it themselves,
Sure,
really?
Matt, you're overestimating Gravity's capabilities.
I know.
They're a small studio at this point.
That's a good point. Gravity has no money to make a VR game, with or without him.
Yeah.
I mean, they're using all the same. They're using all the same assets, though. He's using all the same assets. Like I don't know if you know, but Ragnarok is actually in 3D, like the actual towns.
Right.
It's already.
What this video shows me is that like a VR adaptation of like older games. It could look half decent because honestly, again, he's using all the in-game assets, and like obviously, I'm not saying the game is it won't be practical or fun to play, right? But visually, it doesn't look bad, right? Like him walking around in that, it's such an old game, but it doesn't look bad.
The buildings look a lot better than I thought they would.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what if he got snatched? What if they got him? They're like, let's see where this goes.
But why hire this guy? Let him do it for free. Why hire him? Because it was only it only cost them money then. Because nobody's got VR.
Okay, he's probably
Also,
probably fanboy. All right,
Might be for free.
that reduces the
Cost.
Okay, but the other thing is, if they grabbed him, there's no reason for him to stop talking on Facebook about his regular life. There's literally no reason.
He got Illuminati. I'm calling. He got Illuminati. He's done.
He got assassinated by
They took him out. All right. The people in the smoke-filled rooms with cigars. All right. It was too good for this world.
Dude, it's crazy. Like his Facebook has so much stuff, and it just ends there, right?
This looks cool though. I mean, it'd be fun to try. Again, I can't imagine how practical it is, and I kind of wish we could just do it. Even just I want to walk around Frontera like that. It'd be pretty badass.
Yeah, dude.
I'll email him.
I think we need a new category on MMOs.com on our annual Game of the Year awards for a studio who was worst at defending their IP. And I think the all-time record goes to Gravity with Ragnarok Online. I don't. Sure, it's the only one I know who paid for played on the official server. Like everyone I know, including me, played on private servers for this game. And I'm not talking like 10 years later. I'm talking like at the peak.
Pretty quickly.
At the peak of this game, everybody played on private servers.
You want to know what crazy thing I have on the shelf? I have a Ragnarok for DS, Nintendo DS. Have you seen that? There's a game. There's an actual game. There's a Ragnarok game.
Did it come out in English or is it like a foreign one?
Yeah, it's in English.
I know they have mobile ones. I know about DS.
Has the same logo and everything.
Yeah, but it's single player basically, isn't it? Or like 4-player co-op. I remember that game.
Let me see this. Yeah, it's single player. Discover the addictive gameplay already loved by millions of online players worldwide.
Wow.
And then in brackets is private server players.
I like this one. Control all the action with just a touch screen.
Right. Again, I would love to try this one day. Looks badass.
Nostalgia hour. I'm like reading the comments for old Ragnarok videos now. Everyone's like, "Oh, my childhood."
Good stuff. What else happened this week that's fun?
Oh, CES happened this week, which is the Consumer Electronics Show. Some new doodads released. There is some hope, guys, that AMD might actually make a passable processor this year.
Whoa!
Yes.
Don't get crazy.
Yeah, not really MMO related, but it's always nice to see some progress on that front. Because if the default Dells that people buy at least have better processors, then our games will get better. I think that's keeping things down more than people think.
Dudes getting Dells is keeping things down?
Yes.
Dudes getting dude, you're getting a Dell.
Because think about it, when WoW came out, I know Matt was talking about the hype and stuff about WoW. One of the reasons it's still popular, even the vanilla server, is system requirements. People don't have good computers, so your game has to be able to run on what people have.
I mean, maybe our computers will be able to run Aion 2 if it's happening.
Oh,
because along with CES, we found out that NCSoft has a top secret project that everyone found out about. I guess it's really not that secret, called Project A2, and the speculation is that stands for Aion 2 because it's an A and a 2. And typically, NCSoft is known for naming their projects the first letter of whatever it is they're working on, plus, now we got the number, so maybe it's Aion 2, maybe it's Lineage 3. It's just speculation, but
it can't be Lineage 3. Come on.
Well,
you're doing Lineage Eternal. Yeah.
Well, it's also apparently not just like an NCSoft thing. Apparently, like NeoWiz named Bless Project B or something. So everybody's like, it's a stereotypical Korean like business thing to do that, to have project whatever the first letter is. So that's why everybody is like, it's Aion.
But wasn't Blade and Soul Project W? And I'm not sure. Does it begin with W in Korea? No. That doesn't make sense.
It's just Blade and Soul.
So then why is it Project? I don't know why it was Project W then, but
So I mean, obviously there's still speculation, but I think Aion, like, look at the title and NCSoft titles. What is the game that's most likely to get a refresh right now? I think Blade and Soul is not at the end, close to the end of its life cycle yet. It hasn't even been out that long. In Korea, it's been out for a while, but not that long in the West. I don't think it's up for a refresh just yet. But I think Aion is the most likely title. There's nothing else on there.
I'm always surprised with how much name recognition Aion gets, and that's only because I didn't play it when it was big, and But yeah, I wouldn't be surprised, and I'm gonna make the prediction that if it is Aion 2, there was another project that we don't know about, which is the Aion 2 companion mobile game.
Of course,
come out along with it.
Guaranteed.
That's just a given now. So I guess we'll find out soonish.
Guys, I'm sorry. There's actually another game it could be. Take a look. It could be Auto Assault 2. That's 2 A's over there. And A2, 2 assaults, 2 A's.
Oh my
this
god.
was a game that NCSoft published years ago. And it looks pretty awful.
Oh
so
my
please
God.
don't be Auto Assault 2 and give us Aion 2 instead. I was curious, what else could they have? I was looking for NCSoft titles, even though they only published it.
If NCSoft announced Auto Assault 2, that'd be like Valve announcing Ricochet 2.
Yo, I'm still waiting for Ricochet 2, alright?
Because I got it. X-Steel too.
Oh,
X-Steel, no chance. It was such a flop.
I know.
But
we can dream.
yeah. And we still have, it could be a mobile game too that might not be, it might be like Aion Mobile or something, some other kind of game. So it's not necessarily going to be Aion 2 the way we kind of envision and hope it's going to be. So it's obviously nothing is quite confirmed just yet, but something's happening big in NCSoft, so it could be Aion 2. We can hope.
Indeed.
Right, Auto Assault, the game that Net Devil made instead of working on Jumpgate Evolution.
That
I
game
remember that
shut down
Jumpgate.
pretty quickly too, didn't it? Yeah.
Jumpgate Evolution never came out.
No, Auto Assault.
I think it was like a year or two.
Yeah. Rip.
Hey,
This
did you
video
guys
looks real quality.
did you guys hear that Hi-Rez announced another game?
I hear it was a original
Oh,
game.
wow.
That didn't
It's
copy
it's an
anybody.
extremely original idea. It's gonna be the next big thing. It's called
Super unique. Super unique.
Smite. Super unique. It's called Smite Rivals.
No. I thought it was Smite Royale is what I thought it was.
Smite Royale.
no.
Oh, no.
A lot of people make that mistake. It's Smite Rivals.
Royale? I see an R. I mean, maybe they misspelled Royale because this
Holy crap! I've never seen a game like this before.
it's
So-
so original, guys.
Smite Rivals
So
was announced at an annual convention they have called the High Res Expo. So they revealed this game. It's basically Clash Royale with an extra lane. So you got 3 lanes instead of 2. That's innovation over there at High Res.
50% innovation, all right? Like they could put on the back of the game page, the page on the App Store. 50% innovation, all right? 2 lanes of 3.
Guys, they have to have 3. Okay, they're reaching for the core gamer audience. All right.
2 is for peasants.
Yeah, two is for casuals. All right.
Mm-hmm. If you're a tryhard, you gotta play on 3 lanes.
You know what I don't
The
get?
hardcore audience.
I read some of the paid media people write about this game, and I read what they wrote about the game. What's wrong with just saying we were inspired by the successful Clash Royale? Like, it's clearly inspired by that, and there's nothing wrong with that. Like, the reason people the reason people trash on Hi-Rez sometimes for cloning games or whatever is copying games is because they don't admit it. Like, just admit it. Like, it's inspired by Clash Royale. That's it. There's nothing wrong with that.
And that's okay.
Yeah.
They're like children in the lunchroom. They just can't admit they did something wrong. Not that they did something wrong. I phrased that out. They just can't admit that it's flattery, isn't it?
What are we? Are we in the world now where you're like, oh, you're a copycat?
Yeah, that's what it feels like.
It's like,
What?
Actually, they call them copy cucks on YouTube.
Wow.
Cucks became super popular recently. I like that term.
I couldn't stop from laughing during the weekly raid when you guys kept saying beta. Like, how many betas? I was just thinking
Such
about
a
Trump
beta.
and Twitter the whole time.
Now, the funny thing about this story, I think you mentioned it earlier. Weren't there other websites that kind of tried the game out, and then what they wrote about it was pretty hilarious and cringy?
I mean, my main takeaway from the paid press writings was the fact that no one dared mention Clash Royale.
But didn't somebody say the moment the press event was over, I was so sad that I couldn't keep playing Rivals.
Yeah, but
who can say that with a straight face? Listen, you can be excited for a game, right? But when you're writing when the press event ended, I was so mad that I had to stop playing this game. Come on, it's so nonsensical.
it's cringy, right? But you know what? I don't care because it's paid. It's obvious. At least that way they make it obvious they were paid.
Right. That's true. That's true.
They're actually helping us in a way.
Wait, why? Hi-Rez, pay us. Where's our money?
All right. So again,
we're gonna tell everyone that your game is refreshingly unique, right?
Yeah.
It is, right?
I want to give a disclaimer here. I don't mind paid, articles, especially if they are listed as paid. So with that said, here's massively OP. So yes, they have a disclaimer down here that this was, a paid column, right?
Well, that's honest. I think that's good.
I can respect that too.
But here's the funny line that Omar likes so much. Okay, I am honestly sad that once this expo is over, I will lose access to playing this game.
They put that in there as a jab. Come on, I think that was a self.
No, that's so cringe when they say stuff like that.
You don't think that was put in there as part? The writer put that in there to like make it obvious that.
Yeah, that's what I'm giving them.
I think they were smart enough to do that for fun.
I think you guys are overthinking. I think it's not that deep. Right?
I believe in MOP. I think that they did that.
Oh, praise the game. I get it. Say it was a lot of fun. But when you're saying, I'm so sad I can't play this game after the expo was over. By the way, I was paid at the bottom of the thing. If you want to have a paid article, you got to mix like some honesty with the positivity. All right, it's got to feel genuine. Even if it's paid, it can still feel genuine, And you lose any sense of honesty and being genuine in those cases. But again, I respect Massively OP a lot for putting a disclaimer at the bottom. I mean, there's nothing inherently wrong with that form of paid advertising when it's disclosed.
Mm-hmm. But back to the game. I'm sure it's a fun game, by the way. I think Clash Royale is the best mobile game currently available in terms of player skill and actual fun. Like matches are short.
It's a good game.
Well, I thought it was pay to win.
Yeah, it's 100% pay to win. But Clash Royale is a game that taught me that you can get away with pay to win 100%. It taught me you can get away with it as long as it doesn't get too insane where the numbers are too different. Because you can overcome.
Clash of Clans didn't teach you that before it. Game of War didn't teach you that.
No, but here's the thing. I can't play. I've tried playing those strategy games, right? I've tried, and I can't because they're pay to win, right? It's too. You cannot overcome the pay to win advantage. You can overcome the pay to win advantage in Clash Royale.
So wait. Oh, so that's why this comes back to.
That's why I said you can get away with it for the core gamer.
I know. I did have a quick question. How many cards are your deck in Clash Royale? I don't remember. Is it 8?
Not 8. I think it's 8.
Okay, it's exactly 8 in Smite Rivals as well. I mean, they could have at least made it like 10 or 4, but I don't know. It just seems like they didn't want to take any chances. Like this game is making money. Let's just copy this.
I think it's funny that Hi-Rez is really pushing Smite as a franchise. They really want to make it their everything game. They're going to change Paladins to, I don't know, Smitedins or Paladin Smite. Everything. They got a card because, and I didn't say it, but I should have. They have a card game coming out as well called Smite Tactics. Mm-hmm. So you got Smite Royale, you got Smite Tactics, then you got Smite.
I think it's smart. I think it's a smart thing.
Yeah, no, I think it's smart.
I think it's smart because they're building their brand. They're building the IP. They're trying to link their games together. I mean, it's similar in the way that World of Warcraft and Warcraft are kind of linked together. Just trying to build on already established characters to make people feel attached to them. I guess So you can play a character. You play a character in Smite. And say you're a really hardcore Smite fan. You really like the characters. You're like, oh man, I wish there was comics of this. And oh look, Smite Rivals. I can play my waifu in this game. It's like.
All right, I'm gonna show a Clash Royale video now, and we can see if we can spot some differences. All right.
I do want to say I'm optimistic, okay? Because I think Clash Royale is a fun game, even though it has to blatantly pay to win. Right? I think it's a genuinely fun game. It's actually one of the most fun, simple mobile games you can play. I think it's really well designed, right? And seeing a company like Hi-Rez make a Clash Royale clone, I'm gonna call it a Clash Royale clone, right? And they have experience with I guess more of a core gamer market. I think their take on it will be more fun for me. It'll be more tailored towards what I like in games.
Sure.
Even if they have some pay to win stuff too, I think they'll be a little better with it.
I think we should emphasize. Oh, go ahead, Pat.
I think I was gonna go back, but you guys way detoured since then.
Oh, all right. Well, guys, let's not forget that extra lane. Could add a whole new level of gameplay here. So let's have
Yeah. The lanes in Clash Royale didn't feel like they particularly added a whole lot either.
Can we point out too? MapleStory has a game that's kind of like Clash Royale, or they announced it, didn't they?
Maple Blitz X.
Maple Blitz X. Did that release? Or in Korea? No, not at all.
That sounds vaguely erotic. Maple Blitz X.
It really does.
I see how the Altays think. There you go.
It's very horny mushroom-esque, right?
I like the graphics in Maple Blitz X.
Yeah, they're fun.
And someone mentioned something about Smite kind of trying to be a franchise, and that kind of goes well with this next piece of news here. Not news, but another game they're working on, another mobile game they're working on, Smite Tactics.
Erhan, you do this. Erhan,
you do this thing where you ignore Gumby all the time.
Me. I said this.
The funny thing is, this happens even off stream. This happens off stream all the time. Like, all the time. It's hilarious.
It's like I speak at a certain frequency, and Erhan constantly turns it off.
Erhan has this thing. It's like Gumby is being this pretentious. Let's ignore him.
I just tune him out. You know, he's
it's like old people can't hear certain like frequencies. Like, it's exactly that.
You know, when antimatter and matter come together, you know, so we're like opposites.
Yeah,
we cancel each other out. So,
well, I'm definitely matter.
Moving on to other weird mobile news. You guys screwed up that transition. I just want to throw it out there that Terminator 2 is getting a game. Terminator 2.
That's
not
weird.
Genesis, not Terminator 3. Terminator 2, and it's going to be an open world third-person shooter with real-time multiplayer and some other shit. And on top of that, it's going to be an open world third-person shooter with real-time multiplayer on mobile.
Yeah, I don't understand.
It's for China though, but I think it could still come on the West.
I just.
But why? I know Terminator 2 is so old. I mean, it's a great movie. Don't get me wrong, but why isn't it Terminator Genesis?
I don't know either. I don't get it. You get to play as someone that looks like Arnold. Is that good enough?
So is this like official and licensed, or is this just kind of they're doing it?
This is official.
Wow.
It's by NetEase, so it's going to be official.
Oh my God, why is there music
smaller
playing?
developers?
Oh.
I don't understand, and the official trailer is just clips of the movie. Like
that's when you know it's a good sign.
All right,
there's
guys,
going to be a closed beta soon, but until then, we have no idea what it is really.
How much do you think Arnold Schwarzenegger gets paid for these like mobile like game like being in these games? Because machines don't pay him.
Arnold's price tag ain't cheap.
I imagine
fractions of a cent per person playing.
Yeah, but that number adds up so quickly because so many people end up playing. It's nuts because how much money did he made on this game, and Mobile Strike is the one that he's always in the ads for, right?
I mean,
in fact,
you do realize California's budget deficit is covered by the Terminator, Arnold Schwarzenegger. That was actually a law that was passed while he was governor. So
that's nuts.
Another thing that I think is weird about this, it looks like Mad Max if you look at all the imagery.
Mm-hmm.
Like they have these like cars with like spikes on the front of them, and apparently vehicles are going to be a big part of it. And I'm just sitting there looking at this like, how is this Terminator? Like, what is going on?
I mean, I'm trying. I couldn't find any data, so it's hard to put a number. But I think who was the girl in Terminator? The actress that's well known. She was sponsored to be the girl for Plarium for Stormcall.
You're talking about in the new Terminator Genesis?
In any of them. What's her name? That everyone thinks is really hot.
No, you don't mean the new Terminator.
The
Not
new
Terminator.
one is Amelia Clark.
Transformers. I'm retarded. My
What?
bad. I don't know why.
What are you?
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I don't know. I brain farted. I meant Transformers.
They both start with a T. Okay, so are you?
Oh, there you go. They both start with a T. That's correct.
Are you talking about Megan Fox or the
Megan Fox? Megan Fox. Yeah.
Overrated.
Yeah, I
Right.
agree. But anyway,
She was paid. I'm curious how much she was paid to be in the ad for Stormfall. Millions, but I can't find the number. Rip. Right. Yeah. I was just curious how much. I think Arnold made probably like 50 million plus just on the Machine Zone game.
good for him. I like Arnold. I think I've seen every Arnold movie.
Really?
Yeah. I went on a binge in college. Just watched Arnold movies.
I
I admire Arnold.
He needs to do an autobiographical documentary of his time as the governor.
That would be cool. I'm curious to know what Arnold was like, personally, his personal life as governor. I don't know. Was the wine and cheese parties all day or what?
I mean, I think that was around the time he was banging his maid. So.
Oh, so there we go.
I tried to look up how much he got paid and can't find it.
Yeah, I will do some research maybe for next week. I'll try to find you guys some numbers because I am genuinely curious how much they pay these the face of these companies.
Apparently, it makes $1 million a day. That's insane.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we can continue talking
We're in the wrong
about the
business,
Governor
guys.
and the post game. So if you're watching on Twitch, do stick around. If you're on YouTube, fare thee well.
One more note.
Postscript, go.
All right, so I know a lot of people have been interested in it. So Icarus M, it looks like it's going to be published globally. Netmarble got global rights. We don't know when. They just have the global rights, so it'll probably be published in English at some point.
Yeah, I'm glad to see some of these more mobile games coming to the West, and it's going to happen with Netmarble because Netmarble is big in the West.
So how long before we do a miserable mobile Mondays where we all miserably play mobile games together?
You can have fun with that. I'm good.
No, listen. I think
I know how to stream it.
I am getting more optimistic on mobile gaming. All right,
Sure.
and I'll tell you why. And it's not because of like these big budget games. All right. Well, I did like Clash Royale, but beyond that, I actually did a video for a pretty indie mobile game, just like yesterday. The video will probably be up tomorrow. But let me show you the gameplay right now. A little sneak peek, just what it looks like.
Wow.
Actually, I'll just find the video online rather than my own. But it's called Royale Online, and here's a guide on how to like grind in the game. But I just want to show you what it looks like. And this was made by literally 2 people. All right, this is a mobile MMORPG on Android made by 2 people. So I think if you want to make a game, you can still do it with a small team. Just you and a friend. You can still make a game. You just have to keep your scope like pretty simple. You don't try to do anything ridiculous, and you can actually make something really fun. I mean, I find these graphics like super charming. Like,
I have no doubt. I have no doubt mobile's gonna win me over. It's just a matter of time.
I had fun in this game, even though it was like hella basic. It was so basic, but it was still an MMORPG. It had the really cool like Legend of Zelda look to it from the SNES games, and the combat just worked. He's one-shotting everything because he's too high level. He's just a guide or something. But you
mean he paid?
No, he probably grinded earlier. But look at those pots. Aren't they totally like ripoffs of Legend of Zelda from SNES?
Just the aiming kind of looks like Tibia, like Nexus, the original Nexus TK, like the little square aiming.
Mm-hmm. But if you make a game like this, right? Like, why aren't more indie companies like, listen, you want to make a game, it's gonna be this. We know how to get there. It's gonna be simple. We have these features, this. But everyone's like trying to sell like the next big thing and promise unbelievable number of features that like it just ends up never happening. Like, this can be done. Anyone who this is doable. Let's focus more on doable than like trying to sell the pie in the sky.
Pie in the sky raises money from Kickstarter.
I get that moolah.
All right, well, if you're excited about
What the pie?
I'm not a fan of the name here. Royale Online. Do check out.
I'm not a fan of the name either.
Tomorrow.
Makes no sense. What is it?
I don't know.
It doesn't sound good either. It just sounds it sounds kind of disgusting.
Sounds nasty.
It does. Yeah, it sounds nasty.
Impulsive.
It sounds like a pie that you use leftovers to make, or like what's stale, like a Rukoi pie. No. Well, let's end it there. All right.
That is it.
Pie?
Oh, I was thinking of yeah, I was.
Oh, I thought we were already in the post game.
Nope, that's it, guys.
Oh.
All right. See you guys.
Peace.
Later, guys.
Peace.